Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from the True Off My Chest subreddit from a throwaway account and says, dumped my girlfriend over a joke and I can't tell anyone or I'll look like a psycho. My 23 male, ex 25 female and I were together just under 8 months, and we clicked. Got along like a house on fire from the moment we met. We had a lot in common, from our morals to our goals to our taste in music. My family loves her, probably more than they do me. Mum wanted a daughter so bad she couldn't stand it growing up. 4 sons before she gave up. It was probably 3 months ago now that we had been on the couch while I watched a movie and she scrolled TikTok. Not a TikTok hate post, scrolling can be fun, I'm just more of a YouTube guy. Speaking of showing me videos, she showed me one of a man holding his son and dancing to a song. She laughed and said something about how good I would look as a dad, which was pretty weird considering, as far as I knew, both of us were child-free by choice. God knows I am. I tried to take it as a joke and mentioned that it was too bad, so sad. She would never know. I thought she would respond something about how there's nothing sad about avoiding it or something. She's never given me indication before this that she wanted children. And she started giggling like this evil giggle and said something like, I don't know, it only takes one broken condom, in this sing-song voice that, I'm not even joking, gave me fucking goosebumps. The implication was clear in her tone, like she was making a joke about poking holes in her condoms. To me, real. I tried to laugh it off, but it made me so fucking uncomfortable, like skin crawling levels of skeeved the fuck out. And after that, my sexual interest for her was entirely gone, like I processed her as a threat or something. To be entirely honest, my libido in general is entirely fucking gone. Still hasn't come back. It feels like it's hibernating or something, until the scary lady is gone. I know what you're thinking, why didn't you communicate? And I tried, a couple of times, but when she said, oh my god, I was kidding you big baby, but never denied the joke was about that, I dropped it and stopped bringing it up. I didn't think it was worth the fight at that point, because while I do still care about her a lot, I do not feel comfortable even going to sleep around her, and there is no way that it's going to mesh with a healthy relationship. If there's no trust, then there's no relationship. That's how I feel, right? So I broke up with her. When I told her, I said it was because I really needed to focus on myself. Didn't see a point in telling her then. It would have just pissed her off. As is, she seemed to take it in stride, not angry or concerningly upset, so that's good. My family is more heartbroken than I am, and I haven't been great. They're begging me to reconsider. Not that I would, especially considering there's no way in hell I'm telling them anything. My mother would be beside herself. Think grandchildren, please, son. Give me grandchildren. But more than that, I know even my dad, who doesn't care about grandchildren and recognizes that he's more likely to get them from my younger siblings, would call me out for overreacting. So they got the same story she did. It's frustrating because I know it's no big deal and a joke, but it had also been upsetting or sad. I know I'm overreacting, but in the moment it felt like my only option, and I really don't want to take it back even if I am. I know you may think I'm paranoid, and I probably am, but I just could not stop thinking about it. After she told that joke, I think it was going to end one way or another. So I'm glad it ended on decent terms instead of trying to stay and fix everything until I hated her. Sorry, I'm talking a lot, but like I said, no one to talk to about this because being unreasonable in real life is like a criminal arrest, and I'm trying to avoid another of that particular black mark on my reputation. Anyway, off to research vasectomies because I will not be entering another relationship or becoming any kind of active with anyone until then. Lol. So some of the top comments on this one, Coffee says, I don't think you're overreacting. Her joke was creepy and not okay. And her reaction to you bringing it up is immature at the very least. Instead of blaming you for having feelings, she could have said, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I didn't think about the implications of that. I can totally see why you're upset. There is nothing wrong with you, OP. Take all the time and space you need. Commenter replies to that and says exactly this. flipped agendas where the guy made a sing-songy creepy threat to a girl about baby trapping, abuse, etc., and then doubling down with, "Oh my god, it was a joke," instead of apologizing for making them uncomfortable. Everyone would be praising her for trusting her instincts and getting the hell away. Trust your gut, OP. That ick feeling is there for a reason, and as a woman, also child-free by choice, reading the way you described her behavior gives me the creeps, and her not acknowledging or apologizing for making you uncomfortable. You made the right decision. I would never be able to 100% trust again after that. OP responds to that and says thank you for your kind words. People are being very nice. I really thought everyone here would also be angry if anyone saw it, but I really needed to tell someone anyway, even if they thought I was childish. I don't know. It's just been a hard time. Thank you again. Another commenter says, honestly, it sounds like you have some deeper issues. He clearly meant it as a joke. You yourself said if there is no trust, there is no relationship, but where is your trust in your girlfriend's child-free proclamation? Some jokes land badly. It happens. You need to lighten up. You clearly have some unreasonably intense fear of causing pregnancy unintentionally, and you have not communicated this properly with your girlfriend for her to realize this type of joke would have affected you this strongly. The fact that you're unable to tell this to your family shows that you realize how unreasonable and an overreaction this is. This does not invalidate what you are feeling, but maybe you should work on your fear over embracing it. Another commenter says, first of all, you are young and relationships aren't always going to work out long term. Also, since you had such a strong reaction to the joke, it seems like the vasectomy route is going to be your best path going forward. I'm of the firm belief that if you don't want kids, definitely don't risk having them. You'll be okay in the long run. Stick by what's right for you. And another commenter says, baby trapping is a real threat to all genders. You should focus on yourself and try to heal. So around 1.5 months later, OP updated their post and says, well, I never ever thought I would update, but I have one, lol. Like, I thought I had lost the password to this account and everything, but it was saved in the notes on my laptop. This isn't much of an update, but I can say that I did end up telling my friends more about the breakup after I found out my ex is trying for a baby with her new boyfriend. Also, her ex. Also, I wasn't stalking her to get this information. I live in a small town and 2 of my friends came to me and told me. They said they didn't want me to find out from someone else, but I didn't really care outside of the relief that now I was sure that she wasn't pregnant during the breakup. Something that had been giving me nightmares. They calmed down. Apparently both of them thought I would react badly to the information and spiral or something. Whatever. I know a lot of people said I'd taken a joke and overreacted. Was a cruel-hearted and evil misogynist trying to control her body and everything else. But this just confirmed to me that she was never joking. I mean, it's been a little over 2 months since the breakup and she's trying to have a baby. I'm not angry at her anymore. Not at all. In fact, I'm happy for her, because if this is what she wants, good for her. I just wish she could have told me sooner so as not to waste either of our times. I've been working on getting a vasectomy, but as of now, it hasn't happened yet. But as I mentioned in the last post, I won't be sexually or romantically active to any degree with anyone but my hand. Ah dear. Until that's completed. I think I'm lightly traumatized. This is a joke, you can laugh. What else? I'm thinking about getting a new dog. I have nothing else to add here, but thanks anyway. So there was a couple of top comments after that one. Granny says, you know what? I don't think you broke up over a joke. I think you broke up over a threat. If my partner joked about getting me pregnant by fucking with my birth control, and I knew they wanted to be a parent, I'd have a really hard time trusting them again. Especially without an earnest apology and a straightforward conversation where they acknowledged why the joke would be scary. Alien Lifeform says absolutely 100% that was a threat. She was effectively telling him that she could arrange to get pregnant if she wanted to, and there's nothing he could do about it. That's breakup territory. OK Budget says, interesting perspective. I've been begging for an IUD, but have made similar jokes in the past, fully anticipating he'd be wearing a condom or having Plan B effective / an abortion as a worst case scenario. I think getting a vasectomy if you don't want children is important. I stopped traditional birth control for health reasons / disorganization, but always let that partner know. Opie says yeah, I explained it in the last post to a degree, but I didn't really get into my medical anxiety. I have it a lot, and Even when I made my last post, I knew I was going to have to get one, because I realized trusting someone else with my future, no matter how trustworthy they may seem, isn't enough. I've never and never intend to have sex without a condom, even after the vasectomy, and every woman I've been with sexually has expressed that they are also child-free and are on birth control of some kind. I'm not into taking chances. I wouldn't be mentally able to handle having a child, and I would be a terrible father. I knew it was my time to take it into my own hands after last time, but was still extremely nervous, to the point I was considering becoming celibate just to avoid the possibility altogether. It was actually the men and wives of men on Reddit who reached out after my last post and explained that they understood the nerves, and they were natural, but that it wasn't as scary or as painful as it sounds. I'm very thankful for that, because it helped me to get up the balls, pun not intended, to bring it up with my doctor and start the process. Some even gave me advice on how to deal with the healing process, which I have fully taken under advisement. I'm hoping that afterwards I feel the same way they do, confused and frustrated with myself as to why I didn't do it sooner. And I certainly felt like it was red flag territory as I was reading through that. If someone joked about that, I'd be like, hold on a second here. There was some of the comments saying, she wasn't directly saying that she would poke holes in the condoms. It could be just, she was talking about them just breaking. But the fact that afterwards she sort of like just invalidated his feelings at the same time, never listened to him, etc., etc. I didn't feel like OP was overreacting. They was worried by a comment, and instead of girlfriend sort of alleviating those fears, talking through it, etc., she almost like doubled down, just saying like, I was kidding you, big baby, but never directly about what they was talking about. And I think you have every right to be concerned about that, because it's potentially life-changing, isn't it? Especially when you don't want children. But now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Now, our next story is one that I just came across, and apparently a lot of people said it's their favorite story I saw in the comments. I haven't seen this one before, but a bit of a different one from the usual relationships. It's to do with OP and their pet. This is from Silphco from the r/or subreddit AWW, and it's titled, "My cat was the same age as me and made it to my college graduation. My cat and I are both 22. Every time I left for college, I would say goodbye, not knowing if he'd still be around when I got back. I graduate next weekend. He made it. I love you, Yellow." And then OP added a picture of themselves holding Yellow. The OP herself is wearing her graduation uniform, is that what they call them? The little hats and the dress things. Holding her cat, Yellow, who's looks like a cheeky little so-and-so. A commenter on this one says, "Oh man, my first cat was 21 and I was 22 when my parents called to tell me they were finally putting him to rest. I was between classes, but I went back to my apartment and skipped the rest of the day." OP responded saying, "I'm so sorry, it's always tough when a pet passes. Yellow had a buddy that was a few years younger than him, at least we think. They were both strays. We never expected to lose him before Yellow, but sadly about a year ago now I got a phone call that he had suddenly passed. It was heartbreaking. He was jumping on counters trying to steal food until the very end though. I hope you're doing well now." Then 7 months later, OP added an update to this post and said, "Hello Reddit, it is I, Silphco, aka the girl with a cat the same age as her. I've gotten a few requests for an update on Yellow. I'm aware that I have gone viral on various other platforms since my original post, most recently Twitter. I've seen a few comments on there wanting to know how he is doing now. Since this is on my personal page, I'm not sure how many will end up seeing this, but I figured there was no better place. My sweet Yellow passed away a few weeks after my original post. He made it to graduation weekend and was around for the celebrations. He hadn't been doing all that well in the months leading up to it, so unfortunately, as much as it broke our hearts, we made the decision to let him go. I was given the day off work to spend time with my family and him. He got plenty of love and treats. Yellow lived a very long, wonderful life, and I wanted to share a bit of his story. My parents bought a plot of land in 2004. When they did, they had no idea it came with an added bonus, a cat. Yellow was a stray who had been living off the land for quite some time. Oddly, he was fixed. I'm aware of catch and release programs for feral cats, but Yellow didn't have anything that signified he was part of a program like that. In the area we lived, the middle of nowhere, it was unfortunately common for people to abandon pets there. My family cared for several cats over the years, so while we will never know for sure, we assumed he had been abandoned. I was 4 and was of course obsessed with the giant yellow kitty that was hanging around all the time. I kept pointing at him and calling him a yellowy cat. So that is where his full name came from. Yellowy. Yellow was taken to the vet in 2005 and was estimated to be between 5 and 10 years old. We ended up assuming the lowest number as time went on. He was officially part of the family. Yellow loved food. He was obsessed. His oddest obsession was cheese. If I ever left any food with cheese unattended, he would immediately steal it. Mac and cheese was his absolute favorite thing to steal, but it was hard to ever be angry with him. Yellow was a pretty boy, and he knew it. He loved attention and loved being brushed. When we brushed him, he would spin in circles to make sure he was even. If you were not giving him enough attention, he would hook his paw around your hand and pull you to pet him. Yellow's biggest challenge happened a few years after we adopted him. He was hit by a car. He would have died had the lady driving not acted quickly. She scooped him up and carried him to our door, asking if he belonged to us and apologizing profusely. I'm grateful for her every day. She hit him, but that could have happened to anyone. A lot of people would have just left him there, but she saved his life. I wish every day I could thank her and let her know he survived. If you somehow end up seeing this, I hope you do not feel bad about what happened. Thank you for saving my boy. He woke up while we're on the phone with the vet and wandered over to his food bowl to start eating, despite having multiple serious injuries. He made a full recovery, only losing a few teeth, and having a permanent white tuft of fur on his head where the vet had to put a staple. After that incident, he became strictly an indoor cat, though he did protest. Yellow was with us through it all. It was my entire childhood. I have very few memories of times before he was in my life. Yellow survived being abandoned, getting hit by a car, and he survived through a pandemic. The night after he passed, I had a dream where my grandma told me that she would take care of him. It was very comforting. A few months after his passing, I finally got an apartment that allowed pets, and I decided to go adopt a cat. When I got there, this massive cat escaped the cat room and came up to me. He was a stray that had been picked up off the street, and unfortunately had an injured paw and lost a toe as a result. He'd been there the longest. Maybe it's silly, but I felt like Yellow had led him to me in a way. I knew this sweet boy needed my help. I named him Thunderstorm, because his grey fur with black markings reminded me of a storm cloud. I named yet another cat after their fur colour. I guess some things never change. Thunder will know nothing but love for the rest of his life, just like Yellow. It makes me very happy that the photo of him continues to be shared all over. My goal for even posting in the first place was for him to be remembered, and now the abandoned stray from the middle of nowhere is remembered by many all over the world, from South Africa to Russia, now the UK and beyond. It's amazing how many responses I've seen. Thank you all for the love my family has gotten. I compiled a bunch of positive Reddit comments and put them together in a scrapbook with a bunch of photos of Yellow. The kindness of all of you has helped us get through the heartbreak. Hug your fur babies close for me, okay? They might be with us for only a small part of our lives, but we are their entire life. And OP gives us a picture of Thunder. Another little cheeky so-and-so, but absolutely gorgeous, just like Yellow. Oh, bloody hell. The bloody onion ninjas around again. That's a lovely story, OP. And I do really appreciate you sharing that with the world. And I appreciate your kind hearts taking in another cat in need. And absolutely, I will be giving an extra hug for Poppy today. But that's a lovely little story. But what do you guys make of this one? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved with the stories, your love, your support, your time. Always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.